I never thought I'd find myself back in the dimly lit corners of the underground hacking scene, but life has a way of circling back to its roots when you least expect it. My name is Alex Mercer, and once, a decade ago, I was deeply entrenched in the world of phreaking, a subculture obsessed with exploring and manipulating the intricacies of telephone systems. Back then, it was all about the thrill, the rush of bypassing security measures, the satisfaction of making free long-distance calls, and the camaraderie among fellow phreakers who shared the same passion for technological tinkering. Those were simpler times, at least on the surface. The digital landscape was less congested, the challenges more straightforward, and the rewards tangible. Armed with nothing more than a homemade blue box and a relentless curiosity, my friends and I delved into the inner workings of the telephone network, discovering secrets that most people never even dreamed existed. We reveled in our anonymity, believing that our actions were harmless, a bit of harmless fun in a world increasingly dominated by corporate giants and government surveillance. But as with many things, the novelty wore off. The challenges became repetitive, the excitement dulled by the realization that we were merely scratching the surface of what technology could offer. I eventually drifted away, pursuing a career in cybersecurity, where I could apply my skills in a more structured and, admittedly, lucrative environment. The underground scene faded into the background of my life, relegated to late-night memories and the occasional nostalgic conversation with old friends. Fast forward 10 years, and here I am, back in the basement of an old warehouse on the outskirts of town. The air is thick with dust, and the faint hum of outdated electronics fills the space. The invitation was cryptic, a simple message sent via an anonymous email. There's something you left behind. Meet me where it all began. Intrigued and admittedly a bit skeptical, I couldn't resist the pull of unresolved curiosity. As I navigate through stacks of obsolete hardware and forgotten relics of the past, I can't help but feel a mixture of nostalgia and apprehension. The tools of our trade are scattered around. Soldering irons, twisted wires, assorted connectors, and the ever-present blue box, the device that once symbolized our rebellion against a system we barely understood. It's almost poetic, the way these objects carry the weight of our shared history. Suddenly, amidst the clutter, something catches my eye. A box, identical to the one I used to own, sits atop an old wooden table. It's meticulously maintained, a stark contrast to the surrounding disarray. My heart races as I approach it, memories flooding back. This was mine, long before I abandoned phreaking for the corporate world. But how did it end up here? I reach out, hesitating for a moment before lifting the lid. Inside, nestled among old schematics and handwritten notes, is a small, unassuming USB drive. My fingers tremble as I pick it up, the significance of the find dawning on me. This wasn't just a relic. It was a key, an invitation to uncover something long forgotten. Before I can ponder further, a faint noise breaks the silence. Footsteps echo from the far end of the warehouse, growing louder with each passing second. Panic briefly flares within me, memories of clandestine meetings and close calls with law enforcement flashing through my mind. I quickly stash the USB drive in my pocket, trying to remain calm as the footsteps draw nearer. The door creaks open, revealing a figure cloaked in shadows. "Alex," a voice calls out, muffled but unmistakable. It's Jamie, one of my closest friends from the phreaking days. Someone I haven't seen or spoken to in years. Relief and confusion wash over me. "I thought you might come back." Jamie steps into the light, revealing a face marked by time and experience. His eyes hold secrets, and there's an urgency in his demeanor that immediately puts me on edge. "We need to talk," he says, motioning for me to follow him deeper into the warehouse. As we walk through the labyrinth of old equipment, Jamie begins to explain. "Remember that project we started? The one we never finished because we lost interest?" I nod, trying to recall the vague memories of an ambitious plan to create a more advanced system for manipulating phone lines. "That's exactly why I found the USB drive," Jamie continues. "It's not just any data. It's the culmination of everything we worked on, and it's incomplete. But it contains something else. Something that someone else wants." My mind races, piecing together fragments of our old endeavors. "What do you mean, someone else wants it?" Jamie glances around, ensuring we're still alone. "There's a group out there, more organized and dangerous than anything we've dealt with before. They've been searching for what we created, and they believe it holds the key to something much bigger." A chill runs down my spine. The underground phreaking community was never without its dangers, but I had hoped to leave that life behind. "Why come to me now?" "Because you're the only one who knows how to complete the project," Jamie replies. "And without it, we have no chance of stopping them." As the weight of his words settles in, I realize that my past has caught up with me in ways I never anticipated. The discovery of the USB drive is more than a relic. It's a doorway back into a world I thought I had left behind. And with it comes a mystery that demands unraveling. A mystery that could have far-reaching consequences far beyond our initial understanding. We stand in the shadows of the warehouse, the remnants of our former lives surrounding us, and I feel a sense of purpose rekindling within me. The journey ahead promises to be fraught with challenges and uncertainties, but the allure of solving a puzzle that has remained hidden for so long is irresistible. As I take a deep breath, I prepare to step once more into the enigmatic world of phreaking, where every discovery could lead to deeper secrets and every move must be calculated with precision. The night is just beginning, and the answers we seek lie hidden within the intricate web of our past and the mysterious forces that now seek to control it. The warehouse's cavernous interior seemed to close in around us as Jamie led me deeper into the maze of forgotten technology. The flickering overhead lights cast long shadows, dancing eerily across the walls cluttered with obsolete equipment and cobweb-covered consoles. Each step echoed softly, a constant reminder that we were venturing further into the heart of our former domain. We reached a secluded corner where a sturdy metal workbench stood, covered in layers of dust and scattered with remnants of past projects. Jamie motioned for me to sit, and I complied, the old wooden chair creaking under my weight. He placed the USB drive on the bench, its metallic surface gleaming faintly in the dim light. "Do you remember the project we abandoned?" Jamie began, his voice barely above a whisper. "We were trying to create a more sophisticated system, something that could interface directly with the phone lines, bypassing traditional networks entirely." I nodded slowly, memories of late-night sessions and endless lines of code flooding back. "Yeah, we wanted to build a backdoor, something that could give us unprecedented access without detection." "Exactly," Jamie replied, leaning forward. "The USB drive contains the final piece of that puzzle. We never finished integrating the new protocols, but what's on there goes beyond our initial intentions. It's not just about phreaking anymore. It's about creating a gateway. A gateway to what?" My mind raced, trying to piece together the fragments of our unfinished work. "A gateway to what, Jamie?" He hesitated for a moment, his eyes darting around the room as if expecting someone to appear. "We stumbled upon something during our experiments, something that shouldn't exist. The data on this drive points to a series of encrypted files, but there's more. We believe it's a map or instructions to access a different layer of the communication network. One that's not just about phone lines, but about information itself. My heart pounded in my chest. The idea of accessing a deeper layer of the network was both exhilarating and terrifying. Are you saying we discovered a way to tap into the very fabric of digital communication? Jamie nodded, his expression grave. Yes, and whoever is after this drive knows about it. They want control over that access point, and if they succeed, they could manipulate information on a global scale, spreading misinformation, disrupting systems, even influencing major events without anyone realizing. The weight of his words settled heavily between us. The implications were staggering. So what now? What do we do with the drive? We need to finish what we started, Jamie stated firmly. The incomplete project on the drive is the key to understanding and securing this gateway. If we can finalize the protocols and ensure they're protected, we can prevent others from exploiting it. But we can't do it here, not with them potentially on our trail. I took a deep breath, feeling the old sense of purpose ignite within me. The life I had built since leaving the freaking scene felt distant and unfulfilling compared to the urgency of this mission. All right, but where do we go from here? Jamie reached into his bag and pulled out a small, portable hard drive. This contains some of our old work, backed up before everything fell apart. It has the foundational code we need to complete the project. We'll need to set up a secure environment to work on it, away from any prying eyes. I nodded, understanding the gravity of the situation. Do you have a place in mind? He smiled faintly, a hint of the old camaraderie resurfacing. I do. There's an abandoned tech hub on the other side of town. It's been in use for years, perfect for our needs. We can set up there and start decrypting the files. As we made our way out of the warehouse, the cool night air greeted us, a stark contrast to the oppressive atmosphere inside. The city lights flickered in the distance, unaware of the silent battle brewing beneath its surface. We drove in silence, each lost in thoughts of what lay ahead and the uncertainty of what we might uncover. Upon reaching the abandoned tech hub, the building stood as a relic of a bygone era, its windows shattered and walls covered in graffiti. Jamie led the way through a side entrance, bypassing the main security systems with surprising ease. Inside, the space was vast and empty, save for a few scattered remnants of past endeavors. Rusted machinery, broken consoles, and piles of discarded electronics. We set up our equipment in a corner, the familiar process bringing a sense of comfort amidst the tension. Jamie connected the portable hard drive to his laptop, initiating the transfer of data. This will take a while, he informed me. Once we have everything, we can start piecing together the missing elements. As the files began to download, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. Every creak of the building and every distant sound amplified in the silence. My instincts, honed from years in cybersecurity, urged me to stay alert. Do you think they're already here? Jamie glanced up, his expression serious. It's possible. We need to work quickly and stay focused. The longer we take, the higher the chances they'll find us. I nodded, turning my attention back to the screen as lines of code scrolled by. The project we had abandoned so many years ago was now the linchpin in a battle against an unknown but formidable adversary. The mysterious forces seeking the USB drive were not just after information, they were after control. Hours passed as we delved deeper into the files, unraveling layers of encryption and piecing together the fragments of our unfinished work. The initial excitement of discovery was tempered by the looming threat of those who sought to misuse our creation. Every breakthrough was a step closer to understanding the true extent of what we had uncovered and the dangers it entailed. As dawn began to break, casting the first light into the darkened tech hub, we finally reached a critical point. The incomplete protocols on the USB drive began to make sense, revealing a blueprint for accessing the deeper layers of the communication network. But alongside the technical details were cryptic annotations, warnings and references that hinted at consequences far beyond our comprehension. Jamie leaned back, rubbing his eyes wearily. This is it. We have what we need, but there's so much more to figure out. We need to be careful. If they get wind of our progress, it could mean the end for us. I felt a surge of determination mixed with apprehension. We can't back out now, not when so much is at stake. He nodded, the resolve in his eyes mirroring my own. Agreed, but we need to stay vigilant. We'll continue working here for the time being, but we should prepare for the possibility that they might come looking for us. As the sun rose, casting its light on our makeshift workspace, the reality of our situation solidified. We were no longer just hobbyists tinkering with phone lines. We were guardians of a powerful and potentially dangerous gateway. The journey ahead promised to be perilous, filled with challenges that tested both our technical skills and our ability to stay one step ahead of those who sought to exploit our discovery. The mystery deepened with each passing moment, and the line between the past and the present blurred as we delved into the unknown. What began as a simple reunion with an old friend had transformed into a mission that could alter the very fabric of digital communication. As we prepared to face the challenges ahead, one thing was certain. The world we once knew was about to change in ways we could never have imagined. The first light of dawn filtered through the broken windows of the abandoned tech hub, casting long, eerie shadows across our workspace. Jamie and I sat side by side, eyes glued to our screens as we sifted through the intricate layers of code and encrypted files. The weight of our discovery pressed down on us, but so did a sense of determination. We were in this together, and there was no turning back now. As the morning progressed, the atmosphere in the tech hub began to shift. The initial urgency gave way to a methodical focus. We divided our tasks. Jamie took the lead on deciphering the cryptic annotations, while I delved deeper into the encrypted files, searching for any clues that could shed light on the true nature of the gateway we had uncovered. Hours slipped by unnoticed as we worked tirelessly, the lines between day and night blurring in our isolated sanctuary. The hum of outdated machinery and the occasional drip of water from a leaky pipe provided a monotonous backdrop to our intense concentration. It was during one of these long stretches of focused work that I stumbled upon something unexpected. "Jamie, take a look at this," I called out, my voice barely above a whisper. He glanced over, curiosity piqued by the sudden interruption. On my screen, a series of coordinates had surfaced, embedded within the encrypted data. They were accompanied by a timestamp that dated back to the very inception of our original project years ago. "These coordinates," I explained, pointing to the screen, "they match the location of an old relay station we used to hack into during our early phreaking days. But why would it be here now?" Jamie frowned, leaning closer to examine the information. "It's possible that whoever is after the USB drive is trying to lead us to something or somewhere. Maybe this relay station is a key component in accessing the deeper layers of the network." I nodded, the implications sinking in. "If that's the case, we might need to visit the relay station to understand the full scope of what's happening. It could be another piece of the puzzle." He hesitated for a moment before responding. It's risky. The relay station is in a remote area, and if they're tracking us, they could be waiting there too. I took a deep breath, weighing the options. We don't have a choice. If the coordinates are part of the gateway, we need to investigate. Ignoring them could mean leaving crucial gaps in our understanding. Jamie sighed, the decision weighing heavily on him. All right, we'll need to be careful. We'll prepare what we need tonight and head out at first light. That evening, as the sun began to set, we meticulously planned our trip to the relay station. We packed our equipment, ensuring we had everything necessary to navigate the old infrastructure. Jamie secured additional encryption tools and backup drives, while I double-checked our communications setup to maintain stealth. As darkness enveloped the city, we made our way to the outskirts, where the abandoned relay station stood hidden among dense woods and overgrown vegetation. The journey was quiet, the only sounds being the crunch of gravel under our boots and the distant calls of nocturnal animals. The air was thick with anticipation, each step bringing us closer to the heart of the mystery. Upon arrival, the relay station loomed before us, a relic of a bygone era, its metal framework corroded and partially collapsed. The entrance was barricaded with rusted gates and debris, but Jamie had brought tools to help us gain access. After a tense few minutes of effort, we managed to breach the perimeter, slipping inside under the cover of darkness. The interior was dimly lit, the remnants of old equipment casting ghostly shadows on the walls. Dust motes danced in the beam of my flashlight as we navigated the narrow corridors, following the coordinates embedded in the data. Every sound seemed amplified in the silence, heightening our senses and keeping us on edge. We reached the main control room, a spacious area filled with rows of outdated consoles and monitors. At the center stood a large, ornate machine that looked out of place amidst the decaying technology, a stark contrast to the utilitarian equipment surrounding it. The machine hummed softly, its lights flickering intermittently. "Here it is," Jamie whispered, approaching the device with caution. "This must be the key component." I examined the machine closely, noting its complex design and the intricate wiring that connected it to the surrounding infrastructure. "It's more advanced than anything we worked on before," I mused. "This isn't just a relay station. It's a hub for something much bigger." Jamie nodded, his eyes scanning the room for any signs of recent activity. "Let's see if we can tap into it and extract any useful data. It might help us understand the gateway better." We set up our laptops, connecting to the machine's mainframe with practiced efficiency. The interface was unlike anything we had encountered during our original phreaking days, filled with unfamiliar protocols and encryption layers. Undeterred, we began the painstaking process of bypassing the security measures, our fingers moving swiftly across the keyboards. Minutes turned into hours as we worked to crack the system. The tension in the room was palpable, each breakthrough met with a surge of hope and every setback a reminder of the stakes involved. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we gained access to the core data. The screens flickered to life, displaying a wealth of information, schematics, code, and what appeared to be a detailed map of interconnected nodes stretching across the globe. But amidst the technical data, there was something else. A series of names and dates, meticulously cataloged and time-stamped. "Look at this." Jamie pointed to the screen, his voice tinged with awe. "These aren't just random entries. They seem to be references to significant events, both historical and obscure. It's like a log of influential points in time." I leaned in, studying the entries. "It looks like someone has been tracking or manipulating events through this gateway. But why? And how does it tie into the data we found on the USB drive? Before Jamie could respond, the room was plunged into darkness. The lights flickered off, leaving us in complete blackness. My heart raced as I fumbled for my flashlight, the beam cutting through the darkness to reveal a new threat. Footsteps echoed through the corridor, slow and deliberate. "They found us," Jamie whispered, a note of fear in his voice. We exchanged a glance, adrenaline surging through our veins. "We need to hide," I said, my mind racing for a solution. "They might be looking for the USB drive or trying to stop us from accessing this data." We quickly disconnected our equipment, stashing the USB drive and the portable hard drive in our backpacks. Moving silently, we navigated the shadows, staying low to avoid detection. The footsteps grew louder, accompanied by muffled voices that spoke in hushed tones. "Stay close," Jamie instructed, guiding us through a maze of corridors we barely recognized from our original visits. "If they catch us, it won't end well." We reached a side exit, slipping out into the overgrown woods beyond the relay station. The cool night air was a welcome relief, but our escape was far from safe. The sounds of pursuit were still audible, drawing nearer with each passing moment. "How much further?" I whispered, keeping my voice low to avoid alerting them. Jamie glanced over his shoulder, then pointed ahead. "There's an old service road that should lead us to the main road. If we can reach the outskirts of the city, we'll have a better chance of losing them." We ran in silence, the darkness providing some cover but not enough to fully hide us. My mind raced, processing the implications of what we had discovered and the immediate danger we faced. The relay station was more than just a component of the gateway. It was a control point, a nexus from which events could be influenced on a global scale. As we neared the service road, the sounds of pursuit began to wane. We slowed our pace, catching our breath and assessing our situation. The forest around us was dense, offering both cover and a maze of potential paths to lose our trackers. "We need to get back to the tech hub," Jamie said, his voice steady despite the night's chaos. "We left our gear there. It might have more information or tools we can use." I hesitated, weighing the risks. "But if they're still looking for us," Jamie shook his head. "We don't have a choice. We need everything we can get to understand what's happening and how to stop them." Reluctantly, I agreed. We retraced our steps, moving carefully through the underbrush to avoid making noise. The journey back felt interminable, every rustle of leaves and snap of twigs setting my nerves on edge. Finally, we reached the tech hub, the structure standing silent and imposing against the night sky. Inside, we quickly set to work, reassembling our equipment and securing our data. The files we had accessed at the relay station were now part of our growing collection, each piece adding to the intricate puzzle we were trying to solve. As we sifted through the information, a clearer picture began to emerge, one that suggested a network of influence and control extending far beyond our initial understanding. "These entries," I said, pointing to the screen, "they reference events that align with major geopolitical shifts, economic crises, and even natural disasters. It's as if someone or some group is orchestrating these events to maintain a certain level of control over global affairs." Jamie nodded, his expression grim. "If that's true, the gateway isn't just a technological marvel. It's a tool for manipulation on a massive scale. Whoever controls it could potentially shape the world to their will." The enormity of the situation settled over us, the stakes higher than we had ever imagined. We were no longer just dealing with rogue elements in the hacking world. We were up against a force capable of influencing the very fabric of society. As we continued to piece together the data, a new realization dawned on me. The cryptic annotations we had seen were not just warnings, they were instructions, guiding us on how to interact with the gateway and mitigate its potential misuse. Look at this, Jamie pointed to a section of the code. It's a fail-safe mechanism. If activated, it can shut down the entire network, but it's incomplete. We need to finalize it to ensure it works correctly. But why leave it unfinished? Pondered. If this gateway is so powerful, why not implement the fail-safe fully? Jamie looked thoughtful. Perhaps it was intentionally left incomplete, requiring someone with our expertise to finish it. Or maybe it was abandoned because it was too dangerous to use. Before we could delve deeper into the implications, the door to the tech hub burst open, and armed figures clad in dark clothing flooded the room. Their leader, a tall man with a stern expression and piercing eyes, stepped forward, a menacing presence that immediately asserted control. Alex Mercer, Jamie Turner, he announced, his voice cold and authoritative. "We've been expecting you. Who are you?" I demanded, stepping protectively in front of Jamie. "What do you want?" The man smirked, pulling out a sleek, black device from his jacket. "We are the custodians of this gateway. Our mission is to ensure its proper use and prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. Unfortunately, that means we have to take it from you." Jamie and I exchanged a quick glance, understanding the gravity of the confrontation. "You can't control something that has the potential to alter the course of history," Jamie countered. "People shouldn't have that kind of power." The man's eyes narrowed. "On the contrary, we believe in a controlled and guided use of this technology. Without oversight, it could lead to chaos and destruction. We're here to maintain order." I felt a surge of defiance. By taking it from us? By manipulating events to suit your agenda? That's not order, that's tyranny. He took a step forward, the tension in the room thickening. "You have no idea what you're dealing with. This gateway is beyond your comprehension. We offer you a choice. Join us and help guide its use, or face the consequences of your interference." Before either of us could respond, a loud crash echoed through the tech hub. The sound of a metal beam dislodging from the ceiling reverberated, followed by the flickering of lights and the onset of chaos. Seizing the moment, Jamie and I sprang into action, diving for cover as alarms blared and the room descended into pandemonium. "Now!" I shouted, grabbing the USB drive from my pocket and pulling Jamie towards the exit. We navigated through the turmoil, dodging the armed figures who were now in pursuit. The relay station's corridors were a labyrinth, but our familiarity with the place gave us a slight advantage. As we burst through the main door, the night air greeted us once more, the cool breeze a stark contrast to the heat of the confrontation inside. "We need to reach the secondary exit," Jamie urged, pointing towards a narrow alleyway on the side of the building. "It's our best chance to escape." We sprinted down the alley, the sounds of pursuit fading behind us but not entirely silenced. My mind raced, contemplating our next move. We had the USB drive, the portable hard drive, and now a wealth of new information that could change everything. But we were also now targets of a powerful and organized group determined to control the gateway. As we reached the end of the alley, Jamie stopped abruptly, pulling me into a narrow doorway. "We need to lay low for a while," he whispered. "They'll be searching for us relentlessly." I nodded, understanding the necessity of his words. "Where do we go from here?" Jamie took a deep breath, his eyes scanning the darkness for any signs of pursuit. We need to find allies, people we can trust who have the skills and resources to help us finish the project and protect the gateway. But we have to be careful. Anyone could be a double agent. I felt a chill run down my spine at the thought, but I knew he was right. Trust was a precious commodity in our line of work, and making the wrong connections could be disastrous. "Do you have anyone in mind?" I asked, hoping he did. He nodded slowly. "There are a few old contacts from our phreaking days, people we worked with who have since moved on to other areas. Someone like Maya. She was brilliant, and she left the scene because she saw the potential dangers of our work, just like us. Maya had always been the most cautious and ethical member of our group, the one who often questioned the morality of our actions. Reaching out to her was a gamble, but it might be our best shot at navigating the complexities of the situation we found ourselves in. We need to find her," I agreed. "But how? We can't risk being traced." Jamie pulled out his phone, quickly accessing encrypted channels we had used in the past. "I'll try to get in touch discreetly. It might take some time, but we have to be patient." As he worked, I took a moment to reflect on how far we had come. From carefree phreakers exploring phone lines to guardians of a gateway with the power to influence global events. The journey had been unexpected and fraught with challenges, but the stakes had never been higher. Minutes turned into hours as we waited for a response. The night wore on, and fatigue set in, but our determination kept us going. Finally, Jamie's phone buzzed with a secure message. "I've got a response," he announced, a hint of relief in his voice. "Maya agreed to meet. She's in a safe house not far from here. She'll help us." A sense of hope surged through me. "Let's move. We need to get there before they find us." We packed our essentials quickly, ensuring we had everything we might need for the journey ahead. With the USB drive and portable hard drive secured, we set out under the cover of darkness, moving swiftly but cautiously through the deserted streets. The safe house was a nondescript building tucked away in a quiet neighborhood, its unassuming facade a stark contrast to the high-stakes mission unfolding within. Jamie knocked in a specific pattern we had agreed upon, a signal that we were friends and not threats. After a tense moment, the door creaked open, revealing Maya, a woman in her late 20s with sharp eyes and an air of quiet strength. "Alex, Jamie," she greeted us, her voice steady but tinged with concern. "I wasn't sure if I'd hear from you again." "We need your help, Maya," Jamie said, stepping forward. "It's about the gateway. We've uncovered something much bigger than we anticipated." She stepped aside, allowing us entry. "Come in. Let's talk." Inside, the safe house was sparsely furnished but well equipped, a testament to Maya's meticulous nature. We settled into the living room, and Maya listened intently as we recounted our discoveries and the confrontation at the tech hub. "This is unprecedented," she admitted. "The idea that someone could use a technological gateway to manipulate global events is both fascinating and terrifying. But why you? Why not the original creators?" "We believe it was our project, left unfinished," I explained. "The USB drive and the data we've uncovered point to our work as the foundation for this gateway. Whoever is after us wants to control it." Maya nodded, absorbing the information. "If what you're saying is true, then the gateway is not just a technological tool, it's a weapon. And controlling it means controlling the flow of information and, by extension, reality itself." "Exactly," Jamie added. "We need to finish the fail-safe mechanism to shut it down, but we can't do it alone. We need your expertise to navigate the ethical and technical challenges." Maya leaned back, her expression thoughtful. "This changes everything. If we can complete the failsafe, we might be able to neutralize the threat. But we'll need to move quickly and strategically. The Custodians won't stop until they have the gateway. Do you have any ideas on how to proceed?" I asked, the urgency of our mission pressing down on me. She considered for a moment before responding. "First, we need to analyze the data we've collected to understand the full extent of the gateway's capabilities and the Custodians' intentions. Then, we can develop a plan to implement the failsafe without tipping them off." Jamie and I exchanged a glance, the path forward becoming clearer. "What about our pursuers?" Jamie inquired. "How do we deal with them while we're working on this?" Maya stood, moving to a whiteboard where she began sketching out a strategy. "We need to create digital diversions to mislead them and buy ourselves time. Simultaneously, we should start developing a secure communication network to coordinate our efforts without being tracked." As Maya outlined her plan, the sense of collaboration and purpose began to overshadow the fear and uncertainty that had plagued us. We were no longer isolated individuals fighting against an unseen enemy. We were a team with a common goal, leveraging our combined skills to protect something far greater than ourselves. Hours passed as we delved deeper into the project, each breakthrough bringing us closer to our objective. The synergy between us was palpable, the shared history and mutual respect fueling our progress. Despite the looming threat of the Custodians, there was a sense of hope, a belief that together we could overcome the challenges ahead. As the night deepened, we took a moment to regroup, exhaustion etched on our faces but determination shining in our eyes. "We're making progress," Maya said softly, a hint of optimism in her voice. "But we need to stay focused. The Custodians won't give up easily." I nodded, feeling the weight of our mission settle firmly on my shoulders. "We'll do whatever it takes to protect the gateway and prevent it from being misused." Jamie placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. "We're in this together. We've come too far to back down now." With renewed resolve, we continued our work, the lines of code and data streams becoming pathways to the answers we sought. The journey was far from over, and the path ahead was shrouded in uncertainty. But with each step, we moved closer to unveiling the full scope of the mystery and securing the gateway from those who would exploit its power. As dawn began to break once more, casting a pale light into the safe house, we felt a sense of accomplishment tempered by the challenges that still lay ahead. The shadows of the past were no longer just memories. They were active elements in the unfolding narrative, shaping our actions and guiding us toward the truth. The mystery deepened, intertwining our lives with forces beyond our control. But amidst the uncertainty, one thing remained clear. The gateway was both a beacon of potential and a symbol of peril, and it was up to us to navigate its complexities, uncover its secrets, and ensure that its power was harnessed responsibly. The journey was only beginning, and the true extent of the gateway's influence was yet to be revealed. But with allies by our side and determination in our hearts, we were ready to face whatever challenges awaited us, unraveling the threads of a mystery that spanned the boundaries of technology and reality itself. The early morning light began to seep into the safe house, casting a soft glow on the trio huddled around Maya's whiteboard. Exhaustion etched their faces, but determination burned brightly in their eyes. The weight of their mission pressed heavily upon them, but there was no room for doubt or hesitation. The gateway's fate, and possibly the world's, depended on their next actions. Maya had outlined a comprehensive plan to implement the fail-safe mechanism while simultaneously creating digital diversions to mislead the Custodians. "We need to divide our efforts," she explained, her voice steady despite the gravity of their situation. Alex and Jamie, you handle the fail-safe integration. Maya, you work on the diversions and secure our communications. Alex nodded, feeling the familiar surge of adrenaline that came with high-stakes hacking. Understood. Let's get to work. They moved with purpose, each taking their designated tasks. Hours slipped by as they meticulously executed the plan. Lines of code transformed into barriers against the Custodians, while Maya orchestrated a series of digital smokescreens to throw their pursuers off the trail. The tension in the room was palpable, every keystroke a step closer to either salvation or disaster. As the afternoon sun climbed higher, signaling the approach of noon, they reached a critical juncture. The fail-safe mechanism was nearly complete, but a final layer of encryption needed to be decrypted to activate it fully. Jamie glanced nervously at his watch. We don't have much time. The Custodians will intensify their search soon. Maya looked up from her screen, her expression resolute. We're running out of options. If we don't act now, they might breach our location. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the enormity of the moment. All right, let's do this. They synchronized their systems, ensuring that every component of the failsafe was in place. Maya initiated the diversions, sending out misleading signals that would buy them precious minutes. The room buzzed with activity as they worked in unison, the synergy of their combined expertise pushing them toward their goal. Suddenly, the safe house's door burst open, and the Custodians flooded in. Armed and determined, their leader, the same man who had confronted them before, stepped forward, eyes blazing with authority. It's over, Mercer. Surrender the gateway. Alex stood his ground, a newfound resolve anchoring his stance. You won't get away with this. We won't let you misuse the gateway. The leader smirked, pulling out a sleek, high-powered device. You have no choice. Hand it over or face the consequences. Maya, ever the strategist, had anticipated this moment. Too late, she declared, her fingers dancing across her keyboard. The failsafe is active. Without warning, the room plunged into darkness as the failsafe took effect. The gateway's systems began to shut down, disrupting the Custodians' devices and communications. Panic erupted among their ranks as the carefully orchestrated diversions scrambled their efforts to regain control. Chaos ensued. The Custodians, disoriented and frustrated, struggled to adapt to the sudden loss of their technological advantage. Alex seized the moment, directing Jamie to finalize the shutdown process, while Maya ensured their communications remained secure. Keep going, Alex shouted over the din, his voice cutting through the turmoil. We're almost there. Jamie, fingers flying over his keyboard, worked feverishly to override the remaining security protocols. Maya monitored the diversions, ensuring that the Custodians remained distracted and unable to coordinate a counterattack. The synergy of their efforts began to pay off, the fail-safe mechanism responding as intended. Minutes felt like hours, but finally, the gateway's systems began to power down completely. The room fell silent, the hum of machinery fading into stillness. The Custodians, realizing their loss, exchanged defeated glances before retreating in disarray, their mission thwarted. Breathing heavily, the trio looked at each other, relief washing over them. We did it, Jamie said, a triumphant smile breaking through his exhaustion. Maya nodded, her expression one of cautious optimism. The gateway is secure, but we need to ensure it stays that way. We can't let anyone attempt to control it again. Alex felt a profound sense of accomplishment, tempered by the sobering reality of what they had achieved. What's next for us? Maya considered for a moment before responding. We need to dismantle the remaining infrastructure related to the gateway, secure the data, and ensure that no one can reactivate the failsafe without our knowledge. It won't be easy, but it's the only way to prevent future misuse. Jamie chimed in, I'll start working on extracting the final pieces of data. Maya, can you handle the network cleanup? Already on it, she replied, her fingers moving deftly across her laptop. But we'll need to move fast. The Custodians might regroup, and we can't afford to leave any loose ends. As they began the painstaking process of dismantling the gateway's remnants, a sense of camaraderie and purpose bound them together. The journey had been arduous, filled with unexpected challenges and moments of sheer terror, but they had emerged victorious. Their combined skills and unwavering determination had saved countless lives from potential manipulation and control. Hours later, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the city, they completed their mission. The gateway was no longer a threat, its systems fully deactivated and its infrastructure dismantled. The data was secured, hidden away in encrypted storage that only they could access. Exhausted but satisfied, the trio sat back, reflecting on the path that had led them here. I never thought we'd end up here, Alex mused, a hint of nostalgia in his voice. From phreaking to saving the world. Jamie chuckled, the tension of the past days giving way to a sense of accomplishment. Life has a way of taking unexpected turns, but I'm glad we stuck together. Maya smiled, her eyes filled with determination. This experience has shown us the importance of what we do. We can't just tinker with technology without considering the consequences. From now on, we make sure that our skills are used for good. As night enveloped the city, they knew that their lives had irrevocably changed. The shadows of their past had guided them to a future where their actions could shape the course of events on a global scale. But with this power came responsibility, a responsibility they were ready to bear. Epilogue, New Beginnings. Weeks passed since the dismantling of the gateway, and life gradually returned to a semblance of normalcy for Alex, Jamie, and Maya. Their bond, forged in the crucible of crisis, remained unbreakable. They continued to work together, channeling their expertise into projects that aimed to protect and secure digital infrastructures, ensuring that the mistakes of the past were never repeated. Alex found a renewed sense of purpose in his work, bridging the gap between cybersecurity and ethical hacking. Jamie, with his knack for coding and problem-solving, became an invaluable asset in developing robust security systems. Maya, ever the strategist, spearheaded initiatives to educate others about the ethical implications of technology. The experience had taught them invaluable lessons about trust, responsibility, and the far-reaching impact of their actions. They became guardians of the digital realm, vigilant against threats that lurked in the shadows, always prepared to step in when technology teetered on the brink of misuse. One evening, as they gathered at their favorite cafe, a place that had become their unofficial headquarters, they reflected on their journey. The walls adorned with remnants of their past projects now served as a reminder of how far they had come. We've come a long way, Maya remarked, sipping her coffee. But there's still so much to do. Alex nodded, a thoughtful expression on his face. True, the digital landscape is always evolving, and with it, the challenges we face. But I believe we're ready for whatever comes our way. Jamie raised his glass in a toast. To the future, whatever it may hold. Together, they clinked their glasses, the sound resonating with a promise of continued vigilance and unwavering commitment. The mystery of the gateway had been unraveled, but the world of technology remained as enigmatic and unpredictable as ever. Yet, with their combined strengths and shared purpose, they were confident in their ability to navigate the complexities ahead. As they looked out the window, the city lights twinkling like stars against the night sky, they felt a sense of hope and determination. The shadows of the past had shaped them, but it was the light of their actions that would guide the way forward. And so, their story continued, no longer shrouded in mystery and peril, but illuminated by the courage and integrity that defined them. The gateway was closed, but their mission to protect and serve the digital world had only just begun.